I slap the wax on the wings to be all rock on the flow, break the funk like an in-heat, rapidly strike the bomb to get into it. Takes away these last few moments. Is there anything we've left unsaid? I'm on a quest for atonement.
Sun doesn't rise at all. Who knows how far?
You start to carry on.
Hello Internet, welcome to another episode to Bottom to the Top. Me ranking studio albums of an artist. And today it's October, so I thought I would actually do one of the best artists of October that represents it is Mushroomhead, a band I have followed since probably 2000 when I heard them in a wrestling league. And the wrestling league was actually part of they actually listened to ICP, Insane Clown Posse, and one of the group played some samples of these guys, and that's kind of how I got hooked into them. It wasn't until 2001 where they did a re-release of all their earlier stuff. It's actually right here. This is Double Xer, and this is a compilation of their first three albums, basically best of, remixed and remastered. There's two versions, 1 through clips, which sounds like the original records, and then there's this one, which is Universal, remixed and mastered. It's been beefed up quite a bit. I would recommend it if you really want to get into Mushroomhead's early stuff. This is the way to go and shoot for it. But again, this is not on the list because it is the best of. So yes, Mushroomhead started out in 1993. They're a band made up of various members from the late 80s through like Jeffrey Hatrix. I can never say his name, but his nickname is Jeffrey Nothing of the band. And they started in 1993, and they were all parts of their major bands, but this was the side band for most of the members. And of course, you don't want to be in two different bands and show, oh, that's such and such. So they put on the mask and the theatrics so they could do this. And made up of two vocalists, again, Jeffrey Nothing, Jay Popson, J-Man, includes the drummer, Skinny, which is Steve Felton, his brother, brother Gravy went in it. He leaves, he comes along. And includes Schmaltz. Those are just some members. There's a lot of members of Mushroomhead. There's coming and going because, again, they were made up as a side band. So, started in 93. Their first album was in 1995, self-titled debut. And then they basically sold really well for an independent. Did another one in 96, sold really well independent. Did another one in 99, sold really well. And of course, with the rise of new metal in the late 90s and Slipknot basically breaking the mold for everything, they were kind of signed to a major record label in 2021 with Universal, which they created the compilation album. And after that, they've kind of been up and down, this and that. Various members come, various members go. But they're an interesting band in that, besides the theatrics, they do have a good musical style that is a mixture of industrial metal, not just new metal, really. It's industrial metal, goth rock, some psychedelic, avant-garde, a little bit of rap, a little bit of ambience. It's kind of a hard band to peg really where they are, but they are a metal band. And I do love talking about them. I've always been fans of them. Still am. Even if they've lost members and change their sound kind of here and there, I still enjoy them. I've seen them 3 times, actually. And that's what I'm here to talk about. So, yes, these are my favorite albums of their studio albums. Not the remixes, not the best of, not the live albums, just studio albums. And they have 9 up to this point. Now, they could be whatever your favorite are. They have very different periods. Like I said, I don't hate any of their albums. I actually like every one of them, personally. This is just a ranking of what I feel I like more, and it kind of shifts. To this day, it's still changing. I might just do it another year from now, changing it. So I'm going to start off with my overall 9th lowest, and that is their most current album, and that is 2004's Call the Devil. Had to let the dog out. Anywho, okay, so yes, 2004's Call the Devil. It's his newest album. I have it downloaded, And now, at this point, most of the band is gone. I've heard some complaints about them that they are kind of a cover band of their former selves. Almost everybody's gone except the original drummer, Steve Felton, Skinny. His brother does come back, which is Tom, Gravy comes back and does guitars. So it's not completely out there. And even then, it's still pretty good. I think it's actually, you could argue it's probably one of their heaviest albums. A lot of guitars, very guitar centric, maybe 80% guitar centric. And it does include, well, example, I Die, the opening track. It's a good opener. They always do pretty good opening, hard, heavy stuff. Fall in Line is the big number 2 second single. Decent vocals from Jackie Lapons. And new vocalist Scott Beck. Yes, Scott Beck is one of the new vocalists takes in for J-Man, actually. He does a pretty good one, actually. Doing good of the clean, the overall clean kind of vocals with the overall harsh vocals. It's not bad. They always do a good job with that. Track 3, Emptiness. Must be a little bit of good balance of keyboards of old Mushroomhead a little bit, and that's pretty good. We Don't Care is the big kind of single from this album. It's decent. My favorite actually on here is track 8, Grand Gesture, and it's a very piano-led single. I like Mushroomhead songs when they're kind of a mixture, when they're just right, when there's not just heavy or too atmospheric with samples, when they're just right. They can include all the vocalists and a little bit of guitar and a little bit of samples and the piano playing. This is one of them. So Grand Gesture is my favorite song from the album. And then, of course, the final one I actually do like is track 12, Shame in a Basket. It kind of makes for an epic 6-10 minute song. Almost every album they have a nice ending 6-minute outro song. Atmospheric, creepy, positive, depending on how you look at it. It's nice. And definitely, it's not bad. I like it. I still like it. It's a very heavy album. Might be their heaviest. It's a newer, and the more you listen to it, just came out last year. It'll improve with time. I still think they put on a good show, but it is what it is. Okay, so next one, I lost. I just moved, and I had this, and of course, I tried looking for the other day, and I lost it. So it is the 8th, and my favorite is A Wonderful Life, 2020. Okay, so this is the first album with Steve Runhorst. I can never say it, Runhorst. He actually takes over from Jeffrey Nothing, actually. And Jackie LaPons also comes in on vocals, actually, on the big 2 vocalists. It's also the last album to feature one of the founding members, which is Smots, the keyboardist. And the cool thing about this album is he actually does play quite a bit of keyboard late in tracks here. He's probably king of this album, actually. It's a good kind of farewell. And starting with A Requiem for Tomorrow, again, decent opener, good heavy, gets things started. 2, Madness Within, sounds like it was meant as a single with the chorus, which is kind of curious why it wasn't a single. Number 3 was Seen It All. Very good with Steve and the vocals and whatnot. Track 4 is The Heresy. Good atmosphere track and overall good lead. Next one I like is Pulse, another atmospheric track. Again, I love the atmospheric tracks, but they just balance everything out. Number 7 is Carry On, is probably one of the best examples of that, where you have all 3 vocals. You have Jackie, you have Steve, and you have J-Man actually just doing a nice vocal variety of them playing on there. And it's wonderful. Track 8, The Time Has Come, has kind of a Beethoven Midnight Serenade to it. It's good atmosphere. It's really moody. Track 9, 11th Hour, good, moody, heavy. And then track 10, I Am the One, heavy and groovy. And then track 12, Where the End Begins. Very big, very long, nice, and epic. And the bonus track to the front is kind of a repeat, a build-up of everything about it. This is a good album, actually. I've kind of almost had it. It kind of almost switched off the next album I'm going to put it here. And I'm liking it more and more. Even with J-Man on it and Schmaltz being their last album with it, it still has a good deal of variety. Still has the spirit of Mushroomhead and playing all of those attributes together. But got more to say. So now, next one I do have. This one, of course, might be from an old Mushroomhead fan myself, kind of heresy to say this, but number 7th on my list is their first debut album, right there. Yeah, Mushroomhead. 1995. Yeah. This sucker, for years, this sucker was hard to get to because, it would always sell out. But now you can buy it normally online when not. This one, okay, so, self-titled, overall self-produced and whatnot. Now, this sucker is nothing quite like the others. Okay, this was the first time making an album, and this one is a little bit all over the place. There's not quite a lot of actual completed songs. A lot of it's atmosphere, a lot of it's kind of moody, a lot of it's them just getting their feet wet and just starting out as a band. And it's like a Pink Floyd and John Carpenter album. It's a lot of that, a lot of sampling, a lot of moodiness. They're still heavy, but it's kind of all over the place. Slow thing, decent elevation. Too Much Nothing is one of the big tracks that they remastered later. Intermission has this great little, it's just a band. You actually hear the band talking between Schultz actually playing piano, keyboard. It's really kind of funny, cool. Ego Trip isn't bad. Track 7, Mommy, Mandy Lasco. It's a good atmosphere, kind of creepy track. Casualties, Me Minor is another short one that's different. Number 9, Difference, okay. 10, Simpleton, another rock track. 11:43 is really short, heavy one. Episode 29 is just another pretty good one. And then, of course, Snap. And then that's kind of it. There's basically a hidden track where it goes quiet until track 43, which is a compilation, which is all the songs put together. It's hard to describe. This is one of those ones that you have to listen to it in one setting. A few songs by themselves is okay, but it's definitely an album listen to. I love this game. I still kind of do. I was kind of tempted, though, over the years because it's so atmospheric, it's so non-finished, that I was kind of tempted to kind of switch it with their 2020 album, A Wonderful Life, because I do like that now. But I still think this is great for what it is, okay? So, still, if you can get it, get it. All right. Number 6 is Beautiful Stories for Ugly Children 2020. Look at that. Okay, if you can see that, look at that cool cover. All right. So, this is still some of the classic band members on this together. Still has some of the original bands, came out in 2010. At this point, J-Man is gone. This is the second record with vocalist replacement Waylon Rivas, who is great. Takes over wonderfully. Other than that, everybody's still pretty much here. And after this, they kind of lose bassist Pig Venus and guitarist Gravy until he comes back for 2024's album. But most of the core band is still here. And it's a pretty heavy album. It's definitely more guitar laden, definitely more heavy laden, industrial metal than anything. If I would probably say 80% metal and then maybe 10-20% of the moody atmospheric Mushroomhead in here. So just still good. Again, starts off with the Come On opening heavy, which is the single for the album that came out with. Inspiration. I do love Inspiration. I'm actually surprised that wasn't a single. Then third, Slaughterhouse Road, which was a pretty good heavy one with Jeffrey Nothing here. He was actually that was the original title for the record, was Slaughterhouse Road. And then followed by I'll Be Here, which is a great moody piano driven piece. Something you could probably hear on the radio actually. And then after that, I think the album kind of comes a little bit of this kind of the same. It's heavy, it's good, it's aggressive, but it is a little bit of a samey, heavy album with Gravy. Burn the Bridge, Holes in the Void, Harvest the Garden, The Harm You Do, and Your Demise. The Harm You Do is pretty good. And those ones are pretty heavy. The Feel, Darker Days, Do I Know You? It kind of feels a little samey to me. I hate to say that. It just feels mostly heavy album, good tracks, but not much diverse. It's very, very heavy loaded in terms of heavy music first. So I still like it. It's still great to go out to album the gym, but it's not my favorite. There it is. Okay, number 6. All right, number 5. What is number 5? It is 2014's Mushroomhead, The Righteous and the Butterfly. Ooh, boy, I love that cover. Reflective cover. Yes. So, this is 2014. J-Man comes back to the band, and instead of actually replacing Waylon Rivas, they keep Rivas. So now you have 3 vocalists, and this is the only time you get to hear J-Man, Jeffrey Nothing, and Waylon Rivas together. So it makes for a vocally very interesting experience. Now, most of the core band's still here. Again, we don't have the original bassist, and we don't have the original guitarist. But still, Tommy Church comes in to replace guitar. It still takes a little bit more, whereas 2010 was more heavy. This kind of shifted a little bit back more into that Mushroomhead soft spot of industrial with sound effects. But it's still a good album. So, starting with our apologies, How Many Times, again, Devils Be Damned, pretty good. Quarty is the big solo single you can actually hear on YouTube. They have on there Portraits of the Poor, Childlike. I love Childlike's not even 2 minutes long, but it's just this really solemn song with Rivas singing a little child voice in the background laughing. I love it. I think it's nice. This Cold Rain, We Are the Truth, is pretty good. Son of Seven, For Your Pleasure might be my favorite from the album. It's definitely a good sounding Mushroomhead song that definitely balances all aspects of mellow, atmospheric, haunting, heavy, scary, positive. It's probably my favorite on there. And then after that comes Worlds Collide. Number 12 is Graveyard du Jour, Out of My Mind. And they do a cover of Adele's Rumor Has It. It's pretty freaking good, actually. I do love that they actually do covers just like pop bands. They don't just do covers of Black Sabbath or any other heavy band. I think that's fascinating. But definitely good little album. It's my 5th favorite. There it is. Okay. So we're now on to the 4th favorite Mushroomhead album. Oh, yeah. Here's the good stuff. Yeah. Okay. Number 4 for me is 1996. Super Buick. Yes. So this is their second full-length album. And whereas the first album is them experimenting, trying to find their sound, and approaching all these different things, this one they're now tightening up their song structuring, getting better as a band, actually, tightening up everything, and they're still finding balance who they are. And this sucker has some meaty stuff, starting with Womp. Womp is this is basically my Counter-Strike killing song of the time period. Womp is just a good, almost rap rock metal song with ambience in there thrown in, followed by Never Let It Go, which is this kind of haunting chorus, Never Let It Go, followed by These Filthy Hands, nice moody atmospheric Halloween vibe. It's still catchy. The Wrist sort of has a Pink Floyd influence about it. Kenkosaur has a nice little, hard to describe Kenkosaur. Some of these songs are a little bit described. Flattened is my favorite song on this album, hands down. It's just a piano led do 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 do. It's a very positive, beautiful song where Jeffrey Nothing gets to just sing his voice out. It's one of his best vocal tracks I've ever heard. Is Flattened. I love that track. And followed by 7, Big Brother. Number 8, Idol Worship. Then 9, Fear Held Dear, which is a good one. 10, Unintended. 11, which is Womp Part 2, which is finishes it. which has this nice atmosphere about it. Almost sounds like a Matrix soundtrack to it. Yeah, again, still self-produced, still a little bit rough in the production. The band's getting better, they're getting tighter. Still a darn good one for 1996. This was pretty mind-bending. I still love it. It's my fourth favorite album, but get it if you can. So, number 3. All right, of course, I just talked about one. I got to talk about the other. M3, 1999. Mushroomhead's third release. Again, everything they've been learning, they're just getting better and better. They're tightening it up. They're just balancing out the heavy with the atmospheric and the keyboards and the samples, and they're just getting better. And this comes even tighter production. Before I Die is a phenomenal intro. Phenomenal. Followed by, of course, the big single they released in 2001, which, of course, is Solitaire Unraveling. Oh my god, that is such a hauntingly build-up song. I still love listening to it. Solitaire Unraveling. The New Cold King is another one. That's another classic of theirs. Oh, Inevitable. Another good one. Xeroxed. That's this kind of Xerox machine type thing. It's a good song. The Final Act is another atmospheric track that might be one of my favorites on there. It's kind of similar to the previous one. Really, really good. Conflict, the argument goes on, which goes back to heavy, exploiting your weakness, Beauticious, and Born of Desire. Oh my gosh, this is good. This is the good stuff. Oh man, and oof. Actually, I was tempted about give this 2 or 1. Some days I feel like this could be my favorite. But there it is, number 3, M3. All right, number 2. What is number 2? What is number 1? We're now getting to a nice, interesting spot in the discography here. Okay, my number 2 favorite is Savor Sorrow. Ooh, look at that. 2006. This is when they're at the peak here, folks. This is when they're at the peak here. Now, J-Man leaves this time period because his father, his estranged father, is dying, and he left the band to go be with him. And he personally picked Waylon Rivas to pick on this. At the time period, I was like, oh no, they're going to pick him. And the moment you hear his voice, Waylon Rivas, it's all good. He's phenomenal. Waylon Rivas completes this wonderfully. Other than that, everybody's here from the original classic lineup. You could say this is one of the last classic albums in terms of classic lineup. This came out in Best Buy. I think they had all 7 covers. I decided to pick Schultz because I think it's just cool that he's just sitting there relaxing. If you open it, you get to 3D cover. I think the 500 of these. Look at that. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, I know, right? Oh man, and at this time period, when they finally kind of broke through the mainstream a little bit, there from the early 2000s, they combined this album and the first one, it's number 1. They combined a good deal of the heavy with melodic, while still keeping a good deal of sampling and a good deal of the heavy side. Again, just balancing all aspects. So it's not just heavy, it's not just samples and keyboard, it's not just one thing. Their band, when they play on all cylinders, it combines together. This is one of them. Starting with 1200, which is just this monstrous heavy double drum. I love to play a double drum. Oh my gosh. And then Simple Survivor was a great opening, kind of commercial friendly type song. Damage Done starts out with this big bassy, almost hip hop bass. Boom, 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 boom. But then it just goes into, you just want to go like that. Save Us is a good, just lovely track. Tattoo goes back into the heavy. It breaks it down. Another radio-friendly, almost heavy metal type song. Burn. Just Pretending. One of the famous ones. Best ones off the album. Just pretending that they're mending. The Need. Then Cut Me. The Fallen. Embrace the Ending. Embrace the Ending's a beautiful, beautiful ending. Oh my gosh. This is just an album I can listen to front and back. And it balances everything wonderfully. Oh my gosh, but it's not my number 1. Some days I think it could be. My number 1, I'm saddened to say I've broken this, I have lost it, I have destroyed it. I don't even have the CD case anymore because I've listened to the album so often, but is number 1, 13. 2003. There's the cover, original cover. I gotta buy it again because I love this so much. Oh my god, 13, man. This is my second album, I think it is. I've had this 2 or 3 times. I love this album. I saw these guys when they were coming up finally about 2002 when they went to LA. I saw them 2 nights straight. And yeah, when they were just promoting this tour also in 2003. And after the show, both times, Jeffrey Nothing, who after the show came with all full dressed and signed my ticket. He was sick. He said, "Oh, I sound pretty bad because I have a cold." I'm like, "I don't care. You sound wonderful." Oh my god, this is a monster of an album because like I said, this combined everything. This is J-Man. It's Jeffrey Nothing. Has all the original members together. They're at peak performance. They've just got everything off of Double X. These guys is the kind of the breakthrough album. And starting with Kill Tomorrow, which is just a monstrous track, followed by the big single that they played everywhere at the time period, Sun Doesn't Rise. Oh, Mother Machine Gun has a starting little piano. Nowhere to Go is one of my favorites. Probably is my favorite off the album. It's kind of this hopeful song. Heavy, but very hopeful. Becoming Cold goes back into being heavy, becoming cold, to One More Day, Devon Gomez, which is on track 6. Just this repeating, one more day, hauntingly heavy song. And then, of course, The Dream Is Over, track 7, goes back to heavy. Jane Killsmith of Sugar's there, 8 Inside, The War Inside. Oh my god. Really ridiculously heavy. Track 9, Almost Gone, almost has this almost biker groove metal aspect to it. Track 10, Eternal. Track 11, On Our Way, which is nice, kind of soothing, scary little album. And then track 12, which is 8 minutes of Destroy the World Around Me, almost propaganda-like song. It just has these beats. You hear extra steps. It's a great track. And then number 13, depending on the album, track 13, which is supposed to have 8 minutes, has 3 songs put together. Mine actually has it. You can actually get it as 3 songs. The first track is track 13, which is 5-minute instrumental. And then, of course, track 14, which is Crazy, which Seal's Crazy. Phenomenal cover. Monstrous cover. And it ends with, I forgot what it, Intestinal? I forgot what it was. But I had the full 8-minute track on it on my CD. Oh, that is a killer album. And that is what they say is that of Mushroomhead. God bless him. I know Jeffrey Nothing right now is going through a tough time. Just want to say that because I follow Jeffrey Nothing. He's super sweet, nice guy. His wife passed away from cancer last year. He came up with cancer this year. And I think he's a very distinctive vocalist, very unlike anybody. And he's trying to actually get his own Mushroomhead band since last year going with other members of the group. So, as much as difficulties they have with the band, I still love them, still listen to them, I still enjoy all their stuff. Hopefully you can. If you've never heard of them, give them a shot. If you do, sound off, do what you can. Other than that, take care, thank you.